You remember that guy in high school that would break up with his girlfriend every month only to get back with her after a week? That pretty much sums up my relationship with the Need for Speed franchise since the 2015 reboot. Every time a new game releases, I get duped by all the fanboys saying, "They fixed the handling this time, bro." And every single time, I end up more disappointed than a Mopar guy that just found out his son likes Hondas.
You're gay?
It's Mopar or no car in this household. You hear me? Mopar or no car! Ugh, Lauren, where's my blood pressure medication?
The absolute most important thing to get right in a racing game is the vehicle handling, and we got 3 games in a row that I'm fully convinced were made by people that actively despise driving. Because almost every car had more understeer than a school bus from the 60s, so drifting was the only way to go through a corner quickly, which is unfortunate, because you'd have better luck trying to guess whether or not your Tinder date used to be a man than predicting how your car would behave after entering into a drift. So I had zero intentions of buying Unbound after seeing what looked to be the exact same handling model from previous games being shown in the trailers. But it went on sale for $5 recently, and I saw a perfect opportunity to complain about something on the internet. Let's get this out of the way up front. I hate every character in this game except Rydell. There's a 100% chance this game was written by people who look like this, because it's overflowing with cringy zoomer dialogue and DEI rainbow vomit.
Having to present as male in my community, that anxiety, it took everything I had just to leave the house.
Shut up, bitch!
And the voice acting is god-awful. I'd rather drink another man's piss straight from the tap than listen to another second of the male protagonist speaking.
Hey, yo, yes. What's up? Long time. Yo, is that my car?
That's a pretty lukewarm take, but something that has divided the Need for Speed fanbase right down the middle is the anime graphic effects. Now personally, I shower regularly and occasionally touch grass, so I'm not a big fan of this weeb shit. However, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Graphics aren't a deal breaker for me. But speaking of deal breakers, it's time to talk about the handling. For a racing game to be any more enjoyable than getting a colonoscopy, the driving mechanics need to feel good.
Get a good peek, city boy.
And as I said before, the last 3 entries into the Need for Speed franchise prior to Unbound had absolute dog shit vehicle handling. So have the developers finally gotten it right? Is the driving in this racing game actually good?
It's alright.
I picked the Lamborghini Countach as my first car because I made the unfortunate mistake of being painfully aware of how much better it is as a race car in real life compared to the other 2 choices. Seriously, if you picked anything else, you probably know nothing about cars. I know it's a video game that isn't trying to be realistic, but we'll come back to that point later. For now, I just want to say this car drives like a dump truck. A fast dump truck, but a dump truck nevertheless. After driving it for about an hour, I had this burning desire to move the game onto an external hard drive and launch it into the sun. Thankfully, you get another car pretty quickly, and I picked one that handled pretty well this time. If you know anything about cars, you're probably wondering, how does this shitbox Mitsubishi handle better than a Countach? And the answer is simple. It's all-wheel drive, idiot.
Not a single person on the development team for this game has a driver's license.
What really pissed me off was the 2013 Corvette Z06. This car has double wishbone suspension on the front and rear, perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and it comes from the factory with tires that are wider than your mother's fat ass. If you don't understand what all that means, let me break it down for you. This is a street-legal race car, and yet it is easily outmaneuvered by a 30-year-old Mustang with a solid rear axle. I'm all for taking creative liberties when it comes to video games. In fact, I think realism is incredibly overrated. However, when your virtual car actually handles worse than its real-life counterpart,
You done fucked it up.
and it's not just about the understeer. There's a secret hidden under the hood, and it's not a turbocharger bigger than a truck bro's ego. None of these cars have any actual weight as evident by the goofy physics. So instead of doing anything clever to make up for this, the devs took the easy way out and just made it so that your steering inputs don't register right away. Words cannot describe how horrendously bad these design choices are, but I'll certainly give it my best shot. If a sloth and a koala had gay butt sex and pooped out a redacted butt baby, and then I gave that redacted butt baby a huge dose of LSD and sat it in front of a keyboard, the resulting string of random characters would still be more sophisticated code than the hobo cum and corn dog sticks holding together Need for Speed Unbound's driving physics. Before I end this video, I should probably give credit where credit is due. Need for Speed Unbound might be the video game equivalent of getting an enema with Frank's Red Hot, but at least the customization is good. You can customize the wheels, tires, brakes, underglow, do custom wraps, and most cars have a couple of body kits to choose from as well. You can also manually adjust the stance if you wanna. If you're one of those smelly weeaboos that actually enjoys the anime effects, you can customize those as well. And if you enjoy being an obnoxious douchebag, you can tune your exhaust to sound like the streets of Detroit. But if you want an actually good racing game and not just a racer simulator, you should probably just go play Forza Horizon 5 instead. Because the cars in that game are actually fun to drive as opposed to the 18-wheelers masquerading as race cars in Need for Speed Unbound.